The subject of the talk today was, it's been a long and a good journey. It's been like 25 years of doing things that the world has stood up and taken note of. The true question was, what is going to be the next 25 years like? What are we going to do? What is it going to look like? And we thought the conversation would be very interesting if we had a mix of people, a hardcore engineering and technology into it, financial services, and so on. So we thought we'll bring in a mix of panel members who could contribute to it. Mohan talked about 4 areas, and I think that's something that I just want to dwell on for 3 or 4 minutes and then get on to the conversation. Clearly what is happening is when NASSCOM or the IT industry started, the technology that was available outside of India and what was available in India, there was a distinct gap. Today, 25 years later, the one thing that you can say is there is a fair amount of democratization of technology. What is out there in some of the most developed countries is available here at the same time. And there is a significant, therefore, awareness and can I say credibility today for us to talk about being in the same plane. The second point, the way the people used to connect to people, or the way things used to connect to things, or the way businesses used to connect to their consumers 25 years ago was very different. But what you today have is a situation that all those things have dramatically changed. You're on the move anywhere, anytime, any place, on any device. And what it truly means is the consumerization of technology, the way businesses have started to adopt that, has dramatically altered. And we are at the forefront of it like everybody else. And you would have seen in the last 6 to 9 months the number of startups that have come and the kind of investments that are happening in that business. Take the third cut. I believe that for a long time we are one of the most service-oriented industries and one of the best suited to deal with the needs of the global, if I may call it, manufacturing or service organizations. But today, we are sitting on a situation where there is a startup revolution. People are actually saying, we are going to move away from just being a service-oriented company to IPs and products. And what it means is that you are as close to the valley as you could ever be. And I only believe that over the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to see a dramatic shift in the number of people who are going to sit down here in their garages and say, I'm going to do something which nobody else has done before. And you're starting to see it in front of your eyes. And the last one that I seriously think is something that we need to look at is, if this is the shift that's happening on technology and this is the shift that's happening in consuming technology, the real question is, are we from an education, are we from a preparedness perspective, preparing a set of people who are going to truly address this? So while in some sense we are brilliant in terms of adopting technology, do we truly have an education system which is going to create the true digital natives that you need for tomorrow? So these are the questions that we were truly dealing with, and today's conversation will address 3 issues. One is, how is this industry going to shift? How are we going to adopt technology and the road ahead for this country, keeping in view all that is happening around? Obviously, we don't want to be only doing it for the rest of the world. We want to do it for ourselves too. And lastly, of course, in this whole transformation. So that's what we wanted to discuss. And if I sounded hesitant, uncertain, and a little scared, you have to recognize that it's not very often that you sit down to moderate a session where your mentor is sitting in it. So when I started my life, Mohan was the boss. So if I sound scared and hesitant, you should know that's not without reason. And so obviously this is my chance to put him on the spot and ask him one of those, if I may call it, the difficult questions. Mohan, the big question that's been going on is, completely. And when I know you're probably one of the most leading organizations in the engineering space, and we are doing some brilliant stuff across for global corporations.